They were in what could have only been the stone cabin, though the inside seemed much larger than the outside of the structure should have allowed. The walls were lined with shelves that were so jumbled with books, curio, and bric-a-brac that they begged to overflow, and were dotted haphazardly with burning phallic tallow candles. In a glowing corner of the room was a large overstuffed armchair, and across from it was a stove with a fire dimly burning inside. On top of the stove was a cauldron the black cat eyed warily. The raven was perched on top of the armchair, eyes fixed on him. The hag picked up the cage, and with it the black cat, setting him gingerly onto a darkly stained wooden table. The stains were obviously dried blood. The witch, for that is certainly what she was, had been a sizable woman in her youth, but the wear of countless unnatural years had left her crumpled into herself, though she still looked like she still had a few strange years left in her. Her skin looked almost as gray as her tangled, half-dreaded hair. Her fingernails were clawed, the hard white color of bone. "Why have you tricked me here, witch?" the black cat demanded. At this, the raven spoke up. "Though my matron is both kind and wise," he said, his voice the same death rattle as before, "I doubt she will deign to speak to you." "He's just catch," the witch croaked as she wound up a gaudy Victrola that started crooning something akin to saxophone. The raven only nodded at her silently. "I will ask you then, why have you tricked me here?" "My matron needs a new hood for her robe, and fancies your fine dark coat. She can magic it, she says, to keep men from seeing her years." The hag slipped on leather gloves that looked thick enough to stop his claws. The witch had anticipated him well, but was she prepared for his charms? And more importantly, did she know about the tiny razor blade fastened to the tip of his tail, hidden just beneath the fur? Either way, he was sure his time was running out fast. From an unnoticed place on the shelf, the witch picked up a cruel-looking knife. "Surely," the black cat said quickly, as the witch approached, "you could find more value in me than my coat. My skill and prowess are known far and wide. My bones hold speed, and my claws poison fire. Surely you're not just going to toss my corpse to the carrion. My meat is red with untold secrets." Went the witch to herself, as she opened the cage and shot her thickly gloved hands in lightning fast, nearly crushing the black cat with their force. Then she did what the black cat had hoped, started to inspect him over, bringing him just an inch too close to her face. The black cat's tail flicked out lightning fast, nicking the blade against her sagging flesh and leaving a thin red gash. She shrieked, and with an eternity's struggle all held in an instant, the black cat wriggled free. To the black cat the chaos was beautiful. As he darted away from the shrieking hag, the raven burst from its perch, flapping clumsily in a small space. The black cat bounded from surface to surface, knocking statues of books and candles off the shelves. He could feel the raven's wing beats on his back. The witch hobbled around the room in stupid circles, desperate to either join the chase or trying to put out each of the fires that the fallen candles were busy lighting. In less than a moment, the black cat was almost blind from the smoke, and the raven had stopped chasing him. Eager for his escape, the black cat darted, with all the grace and agility of a shadow, under the filth-stained hem of the witch's dress. The witch hobbled this way and that, and, as the black cat dodged her clawed feet, he prayed she had enough sense to make an escape herself, and didn't plan on burning with the hovel she inhabited. She started to cough in a desperate, ragged way, and just as the black cat had begun to doubt the survival of either of them, he was greeted with a burst of light as the witch staggered out the door. The gnashing stones, the presence of her feet, parted for them in a small path of safety. She rushed down the path, coughing, spitting, muttering curses. The black cat knew that the vengeance of witches was the stuff of legends, and knew that this one was already planning his pain. The black cat looked out from under the hem of the witch's dress and saw that they were past the clearing of stones and were headed down a narrow trail that led down the edge of the mountain. The black cat prayed for safety, prayed for forgiveness, and wrapped himself up in the witch's ankles. She mashed into him painfully, sending him sprawling into the light as she stumbled weakly off the crumbling edge of the thin trail. The black cat heard her tumbling and screaming, and then heard her go quiet. The raven was waiting for the black cat on his porch. As the black cat approached and saw the raven, he still had room for an escape, but knew his territorial nature would have never allowed him that. He walked the rest of the way, mock calm. The raven laughed as he approached. "No hard feelings, of course, between us," it squawked. "We're all just animals, right? As for me, I find a new matron to serve. Know this though, to taste blood is our nature, no?" With that, he flew off, sailing over the black cat's head. So with a sigh, a yawn, a shake of his head, the black cat stretched out on his porch, ready for a nap.
Let's see this one.
This Horrible Creep is licensed under Creative Commons. Attribution non-commercial, no derivative.